I know recently I've had a lot of fun talking about how Saitama could beat up Goku, which he could,
obviously,
but there is one thing Goku is much better at, and that is martial arts, which is something I rarely hear people talk about. While Saitama got strong by working out,
100 sit-ups, 100 push-ups, then a 10-kilometer run, and 100 squats. Do it every single day!
Goku trained to perfect his form and to understand how to fight against different opponents. Even though late Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super seemed to be very focused on powering up, that wasn't the case for the early story, and Goku is definitely a genius when it comes to martial arts. He understands what's at the core of martial arts, and that's just something Saitama will never be able to match, largely because of his circumstances and the world that he lives in. So I figured I'd make a video on this topic. How's it going, everybody? Tank Top Brigo here, and today we're going to be talking about why Saitama will never ever even begin to understand the concept of martial arts. As you probably already know, in season 2 of the anime, Saitama gained an interest in Garou and martial arts, and has even went as far as to join a martial arts tournament. Maybe it's because he's been one-shotting monsters for the last 2 seasons that he figures, hey, might as well give humans a try. After all, Saitama is human himself, even though he may not seem to be. Or what's more likely the case is that he's just bored and needs something to do. So anyway, let's get into the topic of this video, why Saitama will never ever even begin to understand the concept of martial arts, and here's why. Some say that martial arts is for self-defense, to protect yourself and the people you care about. Some say that martial arts was developed by the weak in order to help them defeat the strong. But anyway, I'm gonna break martial arts down to a super simple level. What people try to achieve both offensively and defensively. From an offensive perspective, they're obviously trying to make their attacks more powerful. They try to make it so that their attacks do more damage. And based off of a simple formula for force, force is equal to mass times acceleration. So obviously you're going to want to learn how to put as much weight into your punch as possible, make your punch as fast as possible, and obviously you want to have a balance of the two, because if you're just going super fast, you're probably just using your arm but not using any weight. If you're just using your weight and you're punching super wide, maybe you're leaving yourself wide open, or the punch is so slow that it's not going to do as much damage.
And while you'll see a 50% power increase, you'll see a 75% decrease in speed and mobility. You'd never hit your opponent.
Also, on top of this, there's a limit to the amount of force you could create, but your precision does make a difference. If you hit someone in the jaw, the temple, the liver, it will do more damage than if you punch someone square in the chest, obviously. And then if you get into a defensive perspective, obviously you want to make it easy to avoid or block your opponent's attack. And if you are going to get hit, you want to limit the amount of damage done to yourself by like maybe putting up a guard, for example. And now let's relate this to Saitama. Like I said before, some say that martial arts was developed by the weak in order to help defeat the strong. But once the strong realize that the weak are getting stronger, what do?
What do we study here? The way of the best, sir! And what is that way? Strike first, strike hard, no mercy, sir!
Well, let's learn the skills that they once monopolized. If anyone gets like these last 2 references, you're unreal. But what happens when you're at the very top of the spectrum, when you are the strongest, or everyone you've fought so far has been weaker than you? Well, while martial artists are trying to become stronger and make their attacks do more damage, you're likely making your attacks weaker. For example, Saitama. Saitama is so strong that every time he fights, he's literally holding back. And how do I know this? Well, when he punches someone and they either don't die, or even if they die, the city behind them doesn't get blown up. Not trying to go full power scaler on you guys, but a power scaler would probably scale Saitama anywhere between, I don't know, city level to planetary or star level. Meaning that he would be able to destroy a city, or somewhere between a city and a star, with a single punch. I'm gonna lowball him at city level just to prove my point, but how power scalers would prove this is they would say that Saitama has killed beings capable of destroying cities. Or they would use Boros' attack, for example. Boros, depending on the translation, used a blast, and it said either he was going to blow up the surface of the earth, blow up the earth along with the people on it, or they would use the fact that the attack is called a Starbuster attack, that to say that it would be able to blow up a star. But let's just literally lowball the shit out of Saitama and say that he'd be able to blow up a city. That means every time he's punched a human and they've survived, he's not trying, or he's holding back. Every time he has punched a monster and they blow up in one punch, but the city behind it survives, technically he's holding back. Again, he's always just using normal punches, and we know he has serious punches. So while martial artists are always trying to make their attacks more powerful, more precise, trying to make them do as much damage as possible, Saitama is always holding back and trying to make himself weaker. As we know, he is literally suffering from depression of being too strong. He can never get the thrill that he truly desires and fight someone that lets him fight to his max capacity.
推理って言ったっけ？これからも一つアドバイスしてやる。楽しむのが目的なら、それ以上強くならない方がいいぜ。
So like I said, while martial artists are trying to become stronger, Saitama is literally making himself weaker. While martial artists are trying to perfect their defense, to defend themselves and stop themselves from taking damage, Saitama literally doesn't need to defend himself. Why would the whole point of defending yourself is to stop yourself from taking damage, or because like there's someone who's a threat to you, right? If no one can hurt you or is a threat, why even defend yourself? We see Saitama countless times throughout the series literally not even block attacks, let himself get punched, kicked, blast, thrown through buildings, stomped on, so on and so forth, because there's no point. He is so strong that no one could hurt him. He fights everyone effortlessly and literally doesn't even need to try. How can he possibly understand martial arts and the thought process of trying to become stronger when he's always holding back? It's very hard for Saitama to relate to us normal humans. If I look at an ant or a bug on the floor, I can't really tell how much force that they're exerting, or if their attacks are fast, slow, or in between, the slightest difference. In a fight, being able to increase your speed just a little bit, your precision just a little bit, throw a little bit more of your body weight into an attack makes a big difference to us, but to him, it's so insignificant that he only sees it at a superficial level as like, wow, you're just making your attacks look super cool, as we saw in his last fight, and he doesn't actually notice that people are doing this to make themselves stronger. He has no technique. He just punches, and he's so strong that everyone dies. I would also like to point out that he's not the smartest tool in the shed. He's very ignorant to what normal humans go through. For example, we know that he removed his physical limiter, making him super powerful, and that's why he passed his fitness test for the hero exams with flying colors. But he also did horrible on the written version. He did not break his limiter for intelligence, that's for sure. If anything, him being so strong probably makes it hard to learn and to relate to us. He doesn't need to be super smart because he's so strong, so he's probably lacking in that area. Even though I'm breaking down martial arts to a very simple level, martial arts are not simple, and I don't think Saitama will ever understand it. Maybe one day when he finds a worthy adversary that pushes him to his limit, that makes him aspire to be stronger, will he finally realize, wow, maybe I should throw a little bit more body weight into this punch. Maybe I should start learning some techniques, start learning how to make his attacks faster, or use some strategy in a fight. Again, martial arts has a lot to do with strategy as well, and he's probably someone who's never strategized. Like I said, martial arts are not simple. It's not something that's easily understood, and Saitama, who can't relate to humans and isn't the sharpest tool in the shed, will have a very difficult time understanding martial arts and what the whole point of martial arts is. Precision and strategy does come into play a lot, and I feel like for the time being, Saitama doesn't need to strategize at all. He lets himself be hit, and eventually he throws a punch and boom, you're dead. This was just a fun little video I felt like making. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to subscribe for more One Punch Man content and other anime related content. I'm Tank Top Brigo, and I will see you guys all next time. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I do have an announcement for you guys. I was recently given a join button by YouTube, and that means you guys now have the option to support my channel directly through YouTube itself by becoming a member. By using the join feature on my channel, you will have access to exclusive loyalty badges in the comment sections that will appear next to your name and in live chat. Access to custom emoji like the Moomin Rider, Hercule Satan, and Lord Twigo emotes. And if you choose to support this channel, you will be given a thank you shout out at the end of all my videos. If you guys prefer Patreon, I also do have a Patreon, and if you donate to any tier, you will also get a shout out at the end of all my videos. A huge thank you to my current patrons, Ace17FFDP, Beck, Mick Manga, Nick Sands, Shoot Alpha, and my highest current patron, Viva the Loser. Thank you so much, guys. I'm looking forward to shouting out my first member who clicks the join button in future videos, but on that note, Shinpaku, El Sai Kongru, bye.